Not every love story in the Philippines ends with a sunset on the boulevard. Some end with an empty apartment, a cold cup of coffee, and a silence so loud it drowns out the sea. This is one of those stories. When I first moved to Dumaguete at 55, I wasn't chasing some tropical fantasy. I just wanted peace, the kind that had evaporated from my life in England, siphoned away by gray skies and grayer routines. My pension wasn't much, but here it stretched. A cramped studio near Rizal Boulevard, mornings watching fishing boats bob on the tawny water, afternoons dissolving under the weight of the humid air. The city was alive in a way that made loneliness sharper. Students clattered along the streets on motorbikes, laughing in rapid fire by Saya. Old men played chess in the shade of acacia trees, slapping down pieces like they had scores to settle. I drifted through it all like a ghost, a tall, sunburnt foreigner too old to blend in, too stubborn to admit defeat. Some nights, I wandered the boulevard, past couples sharing halo and teenagers clustered around guitar players. The sea smelled of salt and diesel, the sidewalk sticky from spilled Coke and melted ice cream. It was on one of those aimless walks that I stumbled into Labs, a dimly lit seafood joint where the ceiling fans groaned under the weight of the heat. And that's where I saw her. She wasn't with the other girls, the ones who leaned over pool tables, laughing too loud at foreigners' jokes. She stood near the kitchen door, sipping a Coke float, her elbows resting on the sticky counter. The fluorescent light caught the sweat on her collarbone. Simple clothes, denim shorts, a faded I Heart Suit DN shirt, hair pulled into a messy bun. No makeup except for lip gloss that made her mouth look perpetually wet. She wasn't trying to catch anyone's eye, just staring at the cracked TV playing a PBA game, her foot tapping absently to the jukebox's reggae cover of Anik. I ordered a San Miguel, pretending not to notice her. But then, "You like Tinolang Manok?" Her voice startled me. She'd slid onto the stool beside me, pointing at my untouched bowl of chicken soup. "Too much ginger," I admitted. She laughed, covering her mouth like it was a secret. Foreigners always say that. Up close, her eyes were dark as duhat fruits, flickering between my face and my wedding band tan line. "I'm Meera." We left when the karaoke next door started screeching "My Way." Outside, the boulevard was all sticky breeze and teenage couples sharing Turin from paper bags. Meera walked close enough that our arms brushed, but not like she was clinging, like she knew exactly how much space to leave. "You have wife before?" she asked suddenly, nodding at my hand. "Divorced. 10 years. She hummed, kicking a sampaguita blossom on the pavement. "Better here. No snow, no sad." At a Tejo cart, she bought us cups of warm silken tofu, drizzled with caramel and pearls. "For energy," she said, grinning when I choked on the sweetness. Her first night in my studio, Meera brought 3 things. A plastic bag of pan de sal still warm from the bakery. A bottle of lambanog with a sticky label peeling off. That way of moving through space like she'd always belonged there. She didn't ask permission before rearranging my kitchen, stacking my plates next to the single burner, filling my empty fruit bowl with lanzones that left fingerprints on the glass. When she laughed, the neighbor's rooster crowed in protest. At 3 a.m., drunk on coconut wine and her own recklessness, she stood on my wobbly balcony in nothing but my old Liverpool FC shirt and pointed at the silhouette of Apo Island. "When you love me," she said, "not if, when we go there. You learn to dive. I teach you." The shirt rode up when she stretched. I didn't correct her grammar. The signs were there if I'd looked. How she always made me pay the tricycle drivers in exact change. The way she memorized my ATM pin but forgot her barangay ID number. Her cousin who just visited the day my gold cufflinks disappeared. But love makes anthropologists of us all. I studied her like some rare creature. The way she peeled mangosteen in one perfect spiral, how she could haggle with Paylink vendors while texting, the exact pressure of her thumbs when she rubbed my temples after my blood pressure spiked. When she suggested marriage, for visa, for love, up to you, I thought I was the exception. Not another silly foreigner in a barong Tagalog at City Hall, sweating through his vows while her relatives took selfies. The police station smelled of adobo and mildew. The officer yawned through my report. "No crime here, sir." "She your wife, yes. Then what's yours is, you know." He shrugged. "Maybe Czech or a Poso?" At the pawn shop, my Rolex gleamed under fluorescent lights beside a Samsung Galaxy and a Manny Pacquiao commemorative plate. The clerk shrugged. "Pretty girl. Good English." Back at the studio, even the rooster was silent. The studio smelled of dried squid and mildew when I returned from England. 3 weeks turned into 5 because of pension paperwork, delays at the SSS office, signatures needed in triplicate. I'd brought her a box of Cadbury Dairy Milk, the one she'd seen in my Facebook photos. The door swung open to reveal a single chinelas by the threshold, left, size 5. The banig mat we'd bought at the Saturday market rolled up in a corner. Our selfie at Casororo Falls still taped to the fridge, but slit diagonally down the middle. The lambanog bottle stood empty on the counter. Inside, a drowned cockroach floated among the sediment. The barangay tanid chewed beetle nut while examining my marriage certificate. This not Manila, sir. No database. He spat red onto the dirt. Maybe she bacolod now? Many pretty girls there. At Western Union, the clerk recognized her photo instantly. Meera, she send money every 15th, AO's customer. The most recent transfer, 8,000 Cuban pesos to a name I didn't recognize in Cabancalan. The pawn shop near Lee Super Plaza had my Nikon. The one by San's rival had my grandfather's pocket watch. She said Lolo died, the pawnbroker offered helpfully. I started seeing her everywhere. In the tuba seller's grin at the Boulevard night market. In the way the Habel drivers yelled, "Piesas, sir." In the perfume aisle at Pure Gold, where gardenia blossoms still smelled like her neck. The students at Silliman University whispered when I passed. I knew what they called me, the sad expat, the fool who paid for love in installments. Sometimes at Hiahay Bar, I'd catch a glimpse of denim shorts and a Liverpool jersey. The stool would still be warm when I got there. A half-finished red horse sweating on the counter. The monsoon came early. Rain turned the boulevard into a mirror where all I saw was my own face, warped and floating. At Kiosko, the old men didn't ask where Meera went. They just dealt me into their Pusoy Dos game, sliding the cards across wet plastic. Bahala na, one muttered when I fumbled my coins. Let it be. I finally went to Apo Island alone. The dive master laughed when I described her. Many Meeras here. He adjusted my oxygen tank. Ingat, sir. The current is strong today. Underwater, the coral cut my knees. Fish darted through my fingers like spent pesos. It was beautiful. It was enough. This story touched something inside you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. There are many more stories waiting for you, stories of hope, heartbreak, and the truth we sometimes find far from.